Hola César, ¿qué tal?
Te oigo.
Lo que a mí me extrañó de lo que vos, Purana, es el corazón espiritual.
Purana,
Claro, lo que a mí
Purana es corriente o fuerza o poder o uno que se
a mí
llama Aham Purana, una pulsación. De ahí viene Aham Vitri, una modificación de la pulsación que es el yo soy. Y luego Aham Kar, ego, otra modificación. Son modificaciones de la misma energía no diferenciada.
entiendo. Lo que a mí me llamó muchísimo la atención de lo que vos estabas diciendo, de lo que mandaste, es que en el mismo lugar, el no realizado, en el mismo lugar puede sentir angustia, ¿no es cierto o no?
Déjame ver qué fue lo que publiqué.
Vos hablas de miedo, yo te hablo de angustia.
No, no, angustia no. Miedo. Es un momento en que, ¡tucum! Donde la mente se paraliza en un estado de shock y se siente.
Pero
Pero se,
eso es en
pero se
el no
siente
realizado.
porque la mente se paraliza, sí. Pero el realizador no se da cuenta de ello, le pasa por encima, ¡fu! Porque automáticamente se pierde en la mente otra vez.
Te preguntaba, porque a mí muchas veces me pasa que yo siento acá en el pecho una angustia muy puntual, pero es angustia,
No,
no es el...
el corazón es bienaventuranza.
Por eso digo, en el nor, o sea, el lugar es el mismo, pero el lugar de cuando está el ego, o sea, yo, es angustia. Y cuando está el corazón espiritual es bienaventuranza. Así sería.
En el pecho se reflejan las emociones. Por eso, así viene para acá. Sí, toda la respiración, todo es aquí.
O sea, no tiene nada que ver con Purana, esto que te estoy
Mm.
diciendo. Y esto del miedo, que vos decís del miedo,
El miedo es porque en el miedo
hermoso.
en el miedo se paraliza la mente. ¡Tum!
Claro, es otra cosa.
Sí, otra cosa completamente.
Claro. Bueno, era eso entonces, nada que ver con lo que yo pensé, por eso.
No,
Claro.
no.
Bueno, está bien. Gracias, César, eso era todo.
Ok,
Chao, gracias.
ok.
Hola,
Hola.
bueno,
Te
hola,
oigo,
¿qué tal?
te oigo, te oigo.
Ay, déjame cerrar un segundo. Listo. Solamente es para corroborar si la rendición es asumir lo que hay y lo que es.
La rendición es rendir la idea de que una entidad individual, independiente, separada de un poder superior o Dios. O de una otra manera, o otra forma de decirlo, es el rendir el sentido de individualidad.
Y al rendirse a lo que es, también hay que rendirse al momento en que uno todavía no puede rendirse a ese sentido de individualidad.
¿Perdón?
Sí, o sea, parte de rendirse es igual rendirse a lo que es. Y de mi caso, no puedo aún rendirme a
No,
ese sentimiento de
lo que es
individualidad.
diferente al que se rinde.
Ты сейчас на свою рожу покажешь.
Dame un segundo, que se volvieron a conectar en la
Самое поразительное.
Ya, un segundo. No hay yo y lo que es. No hay un yo que se rinde ante lo que es. Lo que es y el yo son una y la misma cosa. Lo que se rinde es la idea de que lo que es y el yo están separados de una realidad última, de su fuente. ¿Me oyes? ¿Me oyes?
Sí, un poco como robot, pero sí. No sé si soy yo o tú.
Mm,
¿Tú me oyes?
Pero
Bien.
escuchaste la explicación.
Creo que lo importante, sí, que no hay un yo que rinda la idea de nada, ¿no? O sea, no hay un yo.
Porque ese yo es idéntico a lo que es. Me imagino que te refieres son las circunstancias en particular. El sujeto y el objeto son una y la misma cosa. Lo que se rinde es la idea de que el sujeto y el objeto tienen existencia independiente o separada de su fuente.
Y sí, evidentemente todavía no puedo experimentarlo más allá de la comprensión intelectual y existe lucha interna por eso. Igual supongo que rendirse a eso, a lo que es asumir que si ahora hay lucha interna, eso hay, eso es, ¿no?
Sí, la lucha interna, la lucha mental. La mente está peleando ante lo que es. Y la mente quiere rendirse ante lo que es, cuando lo que es y la mente son uno y la misma cosa.
sí, sí, en este instante entiendo que no hay un yo que se rinda, pero no lo vivo, no lo experimento. Una práctica de rendición menor que puedo que es.
Se te interrumpe, no sé si soy yo o soy yo. Se le interrumpe a ella, sí. La rendición al principio en general es parcial. Es muy raro la rendición absoluta y plena de buenas a primeras por parte del buscador. Uno al principio se rinde parcialmente y eventualmente completamente.
Muchas gracias, César.
Lo que es una manifestación del absoluto. El que ve lo que es manifestación del absoluto. ¿Mm? El que ve lo visto, aparecen juntos en la vigilia y desaparecen en el sueño profundo. Aparece el que ve, aparece lo visto, el que ve se identifica con lo visto y cree que es independiente o separado de una fuente, un poder superior o lo que sea.
Lo que has explicado de la diferenciación y de los juicios de valor, supongo que se borran igualmente indagando.
De nuevo, se te entrecorta, disculpa.
Que la la diferenciación, ¿sí?
Ujú.
Y los juicios de valor, supongo que se van también con la indagación.
O con la indagación o con la rendición. Igual.
Vale. Muchas gracias.
Hi, Cesar.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good. I was just feeling like a little bit of pain coming up this morning. And it seems like all the pain inside of you actually wants to come up. It's only our thoughts and behaviors that stop it from coming up. Will that be the case? Like any repressed pain?
Yeah, well, it is thought, whether it is in a subtle form or if it is manifested, whether it is in an unconscious state or subconscious state, it doesn't matter. It still is. If it is a movement, it is the mind.
Hmm.
It is thought.
You mean, are you saying that pain is thought?
Yeah, I may not be aware of it. It must be repressed. So I don't see the cause, yet I feel the effect.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of seems like energy wants to flow through.
That's it's an energy release. See, all that has to surface, right? It has to surface.
Yeah.
And then,
So when
then the inquiry can take place. Because all that appears to be me, right? And all that is thought. This thought comes to the surface. This thought arises, right? These thoughts arise, right? They are seen. They may disappear as they are seen, right? Or we inquire from where this thought arises. And then they disappear. They are not fought, they are not judged, they are not repressed, they are not suppressed, right? They just merge back into the self and they get dissolved there. Because only the self can dissolve them.
Right.
By the way, the video of the 20s, I think if it's you guys, because it is in English, I haven't checked. It's already online.
Oh, great.
Ramana Maharshi was very clear explaining the inquiry. He said, let the thought arise. Let thoughts arise. Let them, see? Because they will arise. Then diligently inquire, from where do they emerge?
Right.
And the very inquiry, you don't have to raise the question. You have to see, right? Look from where they emerged. And they oh, what is that? To see what is that? Because all that is I, right? It's me. Or you see what is this
Yeah.
I, or you see from where this I emerges. And it disappears. For any phenomenon, there must be an experiencer. The experiencer is also a phenomenon.
Right. Okay.
Whether the phenomenon is physical, mental, energy, whatever it is, right? We are not interested in the phenomenon, but the experiencer, this object.
Yeah, sure.
Or the seer, or the witness, if you wish.
When enlightenment occurs, a different form of energy pours through, is that right? Pours through the body. Different frequency or...
Yes. The self is a power. It's a current. It's a force. that force is unveiled. And the mind that is left is the so-called pure mind.
Right.
The mind that is in harmony with everything.
So with envy or pain arising, with pain that arises, suppressed
No.
pain that arises. No,
Sorry?
before. So before enlightenment, with the pain that arises, it seems like it's, I don't know, it almost seems like it's clearing the channel for this power to come through.
These are, the contents of the mind.
Right.
Movements of the mind. Modifications, some sort of the thought form, right? So unless the mind is not, let's say, pure enough, it can be drawn into the self. So this, not even if the self wants to, it will absorb it. It will, you know what I'm saying? It will swallow it at least temporarily. It's like imagine the self to be a magneto, right? And you have a piece of iron that is dirty. You can put it as close as you want to the magneto. See, the magnetic pull will not be felt.
Right.
So the piece of iron needs to be clean or cleansed, right? Even if it's not fully cleansed, you can feel like the truck, right? It gets attached to it, right? But if you shake it a little bit, it collapses again, right? So to keep the mind quiet is the meaning of to bring the mind near the magnetic pull of the self, which is it's a current. It's a blissful current, see, that reveals itself from within, so to speak, from within. The word within is related to the body, apparently within the body. It's not limited to it. It can be in the body, it can be anywhere. Well, somehow, when it reveals itself, it feels like that. Then we realize it's not in the body, not even that the body or the world is there. All is that. Therefore, that alone is.
So it's kind of like a bit of a transition from thinking that it's in the body to it being all-encompassing.
It's everything. There is nothing separate, independent, apart from that. All is that. That is all. That alone is. The mind becomes fascinated with it. Apparently, there is a mind that is aware of it. In reality, it's revealing itself by itself to itself as one's own very self. At the core of one's existence. To see temporarily is called glimpse. Permanently is realization. For that, the identity with the body must be dropped. It must drop permanently. So the state of non-differentiation or samadhi or whatever it is has to become permanent.
Right. There seem to be a lot of other energetic phenomena that occurs along the way as well. Like there seems to be a lot of energetic phenomena along the way that occurs. Just energetic, whatever, just different things that happen, different experiences. And
at the end, it doesn't really matter. Energy is also emanation from the source. It's another phenomenon. Actually, is the root of all phenomenon. Everything is energy. There's an energy that, let's say that the universes are an infinitesimal part of the totality of what exists. In potentiality. Are you following?
Yeah.
So there is more than what you can possibly imagine that remains in a potential latent dormant state. Is energy, possibilities dormant. Because they are not known, because they are not manifested, they are called unknown ignorance. So ignorance, knowledge comes from ignorance. So therefore, what we call knowledge is ignorance. This is why knowledge or real knowledge is the self itself. It's illusion, see? Whether it is manifested or in a latent or potential state is an illusion. All that collectively is an illusion. The first thing that arises is the seer. Then the seer without light, see, cannot see. So let it be light, right? But without an object, the act of seeing cannot be. Let it be the so-called appearance of the objective reality. There is your seer, seen, actor, seen. In reality, they are not three separate entities. When they appear, then the seer identifies itself as the seen, a particular one, right? And thinks, I am the body. So this seer is the so-called being, right? Or the subtle body, or this whatever, see, I amness, conscious self, whatever, right?
Right.
It's a sense of self, and apparently this self is conscious, see? And it is self-aware. It's not a thought. It's just the so-called beingness, right? It's not being this or that, or like this or like that, because identity with the body may not have happened yet.
Right.
When it identifies itself with the body, saying, I am this, right? Like this and like that. If you are lucky, you may experience that process of arousal of the mind, see, the seer and the light and then the object and the rest. All that collectively is an illusion. So all that which is manifest merges back, right, into, it turns into a manifest, deep sleep. And then the absolute somehow reordained that, rearrange that, and that is your next awakened state. At least that's my experience, and it is somehow confirmed by one of my favorite books, one of the Upanishads. Don't remember if it's Kata or Kena or something like that. Beyond the object, the senses, beyond the senses, the mind. Beyond the mind, the intellect. Beyond the intellect, the self. Beyond the self, the unmanifest. Beyond the unmanifest, the ultimate reality. Beyond the ultimate reality, there is nothing. If you want to summarize it, or if you want to remove more stuff, you have the seeing, the light that illumines all that, right? The seer, the potentiality, the non-different, and the absolute, which is beyond, which is a force. Your power, whatever you like to call it, higher power, call it whatever you like, absolute. You see why seer, seen, an actor seen disappears in deep sleep, see? And there is total darkness, right? It's total ignorance, right? It's called veil of ignorance. But people mistake it. This is why people like to sleep or enter in pseudo trances of meditation, and they just face in ignorance and believe that ignorance is bliss. It's called Ananda Maya, illusory bliss. People mistake this for sleep. They fall asleep is closest, perhaps it's the closest experience to the self, but it's not. Because the self is not inert. It's not ignorance, it is alive, vibrantly alive. Sometimes it's called vibration, but it's a vibration from where frequencies of energy emerges. See?
Right.
Modification of that energy that is dormant. That is like the generator is not emanating energy, but the energy is contained within the generator, right? The generator. See, all the possibilities are there, the possibilities of that energy to be generated, right?
Right, sure.
And then that's it. Expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction. One simply has to keep quiet. Or witness the mind is the same. The activities of the mind, remember, three characteristics the mind has: activity, purity, and dullness. The pure mind is the witness of the other two.
Right, sure.
The pure mind is a reflection. Of the self.
It's a reflection of self, so, but it's still the ignorance.
Well, yeah. Because it's not different from consciousness, right? People say it is consciousness, right? People say the mind is basically the consciousness, right? The mind is identical with consciousness. The mind is not separate from consciousness, not different from consciousness.
Right.
If you want to see that mythologically, symbolically, like a fairy tale, like the written in the Vedas, the absolute first manifested act, creator. Imagine that. So the absolute is beyond creator. Right?
Sure.
For the creator to create something for itself, right? And the first thing that creates is the seer. Seer without light cannot see. Let it be light, right? Without the object, the act of seeing cannot be from. Let it be the object, right? The object refers to the so-called objective reality, the manifestation, matter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The seer is immaterial, is subtle, right? But this is gross body, right? The seer, the mind, is a subtle body because it's subtle. It's not something really tangible like an object, right? So that
Right,
is subtle,
yeah.
subtle body. And the cause of all that, the creator, the undifferentiated potential energy. Beyond that, see, so you have the gross body, the subtle body, the causal body, and the super causal. See, the causeless, what cannot be caused by anybody. See? And it's beyond the cause, cannot be caused by anything, right? And it's not the cause of anything. It's, and then when God created all this, then the absolute sat in the heart of each being, right? And became the indweller, became the indweller. So the actual experiencer, the ultimate experiencer of the whole thing is the absolute. The witness of the witness, see, the absolute witness. That which sees the seer. See? This is what Ramana used to say, what is better, to talk or to sit quietly and emanate inner force? See?
So the latter.
Hmm?
The second one. Or is there a difference?
Big time.
But when you're established in beingness, then it doesn't matter if you talk or be quiet.
That doesn't matter anymore. You are not bothered by the quantities or qualities of physical activity or mental activity. Because you remain like a screen.
Right.
And you see the projection without being bothered by it.
Right, sure.
And this body is part of the projection. The mind is part of the projection. The light is part of the projection, right? This is why sometimes you see these guys called sages and whatever, like completely absorbed in their reality. And sometimes it's so deep that you have to shake them or shout at them or really call their attention. Even if the attention falls on something, still they are aware of their reality. Mm. Actually, it's amazing because I just opened the document that I was working on, which is somebody asked me to take from talk with Ramana Maharshi some whatever I consider to be relevant. The whole thing is relevant, but so the sattvic mind is the witness of the rajasic. It is no doubt true consciousness. It still is called sattvic mind because knowledge of being witness is a function of the reflected consciousness. See? So this consciousness, right, that is now here, consciousness of the body, right? And apparently a conscious being, right, is the reflected the reflection of the absolute. But in that state, you cannot see the difference between the two. Because they are recognized as one and the same. The sattvic mind is in fact absolute consciousness. The object to be witnessed, right, by this reflected consciousness and the witness, right, finally merge together, and absolute consciousness alone reigns supreme. If the mind does identify itself with the body, is just a witness, right? Because since the witness and the object witness are one and the same, right? Who is witnessing what? And then
There's
that is when the absolute reveals itself. You see why it's so difficult to speak about this?
the conundrum.
Mm. Now manifest, then no manifest. It's the same. Illusion manifested, illusion no manifested. It still is an illusion. In the
Right,
awakened,
yeah.
in the awakened state, it covers reality. It's called projection. In deep sleep, it covers reality. It's called the veiling power and projecting power. Because it's that power, which is called absolute consciousness. It was seeks ignorance and knowledge.
Right.
The illusion manifest and non-manifest. Manifest, seer, seen, act of seen. See, that which sees the seer, the seen, and the act of seen, right? Or the seer and the seen, the subject and the object, right? When the seer and the seen are perceived as two separate entities, this is all the content of the mind. The subject creates the subject and the object. Can you see that?
Yeah.
As two separate entities, right? Identify itself as a body and create a subject and an object as if they were two separate entities. It's called the content of the mind. When the subject and the object disappear as two separate entities, that's the mind without content.
Okay.
The mind free from thoughts. Then seer and seen, right, are perceived as not, as if they are not different. See, that's called non-differentiation or samadhi.
Okay.
And this is the prelude. How you call it, prelude?
Prelude, yeah.
To realization, which is, that's a condition, that's a mental state. Now, no waves. See? It's compared to a candle, right? In a room that has no windows. So the candle is not flicking, it's not moving, right?
Right.
This mind is fully awake, fully alert. It's just completely still. As awake, see, it's fully awake and still as it was in deep sleep. This is why it's called Jagrat Shishupti, see, awakened sleep, right? It's like to be as still as asleep and awake as, right? This alertness.
Caesar, do you mind if I go to the toilet?
No. By all means.
I'll pass you over to Shani.
Okay.
Hi, Caesar.
Hi.
I have a question for you, actually. When you were talking about the causal body and Anandamaya kosha, I heard once that we devolve through Anandamaya kosha down through like the other, like the Vijnana Maya kosha and the pranic body.
Oh, I am struggling to understand what you say. I guess it's because of the accent, the pronunciation, sorry.
Oh. So that we devolve from Anandamaya kosha, or the bliss body, down to the physical body.
No, we don't. We as a self, we don't go down or up. See, if it is even a mistake to say that the absolute permeates all. It cannot permeate because it's not entered here, right? In the same way, and a screen does not permeate the projection. What it is all pervasive is that energy, because everything is energy. Are you following? And the absolute, when the people say that the absolute manifests as all this, that's not true neither, because the absolute does not manifest itself, right? It's energy that goes into manifested state and non-manifested state. The absolute is beyond manifest and non-manifest. Even when you read the Bhagavad Gita, when they use the word on manifest, they put on manifest 1, on manifest 2. Not to mistake the absolute that doesn't manifest with the on manifest that then manifests. Following? So the causal body, subtle body, and gross body, all that collectively is Maya. All that collectively is illusion. All that collectively is called the unreal. The Ananda Maya kosha is when the meditator closes the eyes and it's a state of blankness or a stupor, right? It's not different than to be asleep, right? This is why it's called illusory Ananda, Ananda Maya. Real Ananda is the nature of the absolute itself, right? Which is alive, it's not. Also, when people say, oh, there's the emptiness, it's not empty, the self is not empty. The word empty refers to empty of form and qualities and attributes and all that stuff. But it is alive. Only few people I heard saying that. Mr. Ratanlal used to say, first it is perceived as an object, right? Because it's silent. It's the silence beyond ignorance. But you say, well, it cannot be an object, right? We say, well, but it's empty because it's there, see? And he said, then it reveals itself as it actually is, see, as a current, power, force, or whatever it is that you like it, that it is. When Ramana used to speak about devotion, he will say, there is a power. He uses the power, the word power. There is a power that is taking care of everything. Why wouldn't it take care of you? Surrender to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just, I'm hopeless, right? I'm helpless. What is surrender? Bag it all. I don't know. I don't know. It also gives an analogy of the man, right? That enters in the train carrying the luggages on the head, right? And I say, it's so stupid that the man, right? In the train, he still carries the luggages in the head. Just put it down. Sit down and rest. Look through the windows, right? And he's taking care of the train, right? And he's taking care of you.
Yep.
In fact, the seer, the so-called mind, the conscious self, right? The conscious being, it's just the instrument through which the absolute can see, right? It's some manifestations. It creates a God, and then this energy, and then it has to create a seer, and then seer without like cannot see. I guess you were there listening, and then the objects and all that stuff. This is why it's called the bridge between the absolute and the world. It's also called the knot, right? if you remove the knot, it's a rope. See, when you have an I love this analogy because because you have this here now. Right? Then apparently there is some seeds here and then something here. Right? They gives the impression that there is this side, the self, and the non-self.
Mm.
If you remove the knot,
That's one of the.
it's all one thing. I remember Annamalai Swami, Ramana was trying to tell him that he was too attached to his body. Basically sent him away for his own good, right? And when Annamalai Swami came for darshan of Ramana, remember, used to have like a small piece of cloth with him. And then Ramana took the thing and covered his face. Like a child.
Hmm.
And then Ramana said, why are you disturbing? Can you see that I am resting? See, I'm relaxed, resting in myself. You must go away. Of course, Ramana already organized something for him, right? It's like a little house near the ashram. Right? If you go there, don't come to see me ever again. I will go there and see you. And I said, don't ask anything to anybody, even to your neighbors. Whatever you need will come to you.
That's good.
And Ramana used to joke, you will go there and say, I came for your darshan. And Ramana said, and then he says, no, Bhagavan, you're a great being, I am nobody. And then Ramana told him, haven't you live according to my words all along? I say, yes. So can it be greater? Can it be anything greater than that? Right? That represents the apparent individual self, right? That knows that everything that he did, right, was in accordance to the will of a higher power, that he is not the doer. Is she gone or is she coming back?
She's coming back, taking turns.
That's what I thought. Taking turns. Between you and I.
So you said the mind is like you likened it to a dirty piece of iron and needs to be purified.
It's difficult for many at the beginning, right? To turn the mind inwards. Say, who am I? Say, they cannot even understand anything because the mind is so busy that even if you tell them all these concepts in great detail and slowly and peacefully, they just don't get it. because the mind is too active, right?
Mm.
Too concerned even about its own enlightenment, it's too self-centered, right? It's too active. So the mind has to slow down, right? This is why all these practices are prescribed, right? Meditation and bhajans and mantras and rituals and all, that's fine. But I would say again, it should be done under somebody's supervision. Otherwise, they become a hindrance for the seeker itself.
Yeah.
So the guru has to know when, okay, stop it. Now this. Stop. Now this, right?
Right, sure.
So, this,
So you can become.
the so-called guru or teacher is there, seeing where is the seeker standing, right? Like Ramana, see, stand up and go, don't come back here again. Because his attachment to the physical form, right, of Ramana.
Right.
So God still was external and he has form. So that means Annamalaya still he was external and he has a form, even though he had glimpses. So
Right.
for that realization to become firmly established, so Ramana has to do this, you go. After Ramana died and people used to go to see him, he would say, you see that picture of Bhagavan? That's an illusion. He would say, see, he changed his mind. Same thing happened to me. I said, my God, that's an illusion. God is an illusion. Wherever I believe God is, it's an illusion. Hold on, the fear of the illusion is part of the illusion.
Right. But there seems to be like a like if you wake up, wouldn't your teacher still be, I guess, more powerful? And if you spend time with your teacher, even after awakening, you can get a deeper experience.
No, you cannot go deeper than just you can be. Remember, beyond the world is the mind, beyond the mind is blah blah blah. Beyond all that is the absolute. There is nothing deeper or beyond that. That's it. It's not can go further than that. There is no. I didn't pay attention to that at that time when it somehow happened to me when I was requested to go away, the whole drama and all that stuff, and put a party with the ashram and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He still was alive. He didn't move a finger. He ignores me completely. So I was told first, it's amazing because Baba says, if I tell you something in a dream, it's for you. So I don't need anybody between you and I. Either I appear directly to you, physically, wherever you are, or in a dream. When you come here, I tell you, there's no mediums, right? There is this Russian woman that came from Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, but that was my last tour, right?
Mhm.
The woman says to me, I came to tell you that all what happens there, first is for you not to be eaten by the vultures. Right? That. And second, for you to become established, see, in that conviction, right? Because still there was an attachment to him, right? And to the ashram, and to spirituality, and the spiritual life, and the whole story, right? Sweet. So the tendency is that leads to liberation becomes an obstacle to liberation, right?
Uh-huh.
It's called spiritual mind, right?
Right.
When the ego is gone, if somebody needs, if you have to sing the bhajans, you sing them. If you have to do the ritual, you do it. You don't need it, right? It's useless
Yeah,
for
sure.
you, right? It's for the sake of the seeker. Ramana will sing bhajans, he will repeat mantras, he will sit and sing bhajans, even the bhajans under his name, he will sing to, right? He doesn't need to sing. Baba also, no, will sing. Even if the sage follows some code of conduct, it's just for the benefit of the seeker. What rule can you apply to the absolute?
Yeah, sure.
So, all what you're talking about, Shami, is from the point of view of illusion. See? Right? The 5 elements and all that stuff. When you say we descended from, right? We means body, right? Yeah. So all the question or the subject of conversation is based on body and body identity. There comes evolution, right? With evolution comes the intellect, right? In the human body, right? Because of the intellect and all this knowledge, we can begin to discriminate, discern what's going on here, right? There must be something there, right? That doing all this and brought this into existence, you begin to realize that the limitations of the body, right? The insignificance of human life, you can go in a split second. So obviously, I am not, I go all these stays, right? Because other goes and still everything is there. There must be something, this is there must be something there, right? That is doing all this, right? So the reasoning, right? Came to a logic, I would say, conclusion. There must be a single source from where all this emanated. What is it? No? And from then the desire to know the source, which is obviously considered this must be myself. I cannot be. If it is then, you see, if it all this is reasoning, if it is all there, it cannot be elsewhere. It must be, if this is here and now, so that power must be also here. Obviously, it must be also here and now. That must be the essence of myself. It must be myself, right? But then they found, I can't get it by reasoning, I can't get it by logic, I can't get it by intellect. I can get it by rituals, I worship him, I put candles, I put whatever, it doesn't show up, right? I try in the evolution process, you know, whoever you are, here it is. See, my human heart, they eat God, whatever, right? Sacrifices and all. And if it is there, it must be obvious, it must reveal itself, it must be, right? This is why it is within you, because you believe you are the body, it is said it is within you, no, God is within you, right? Even the Ayurvedic books speaks of the heart, see? Center of center.
Yes.
And then you realize, how can it be within? Right? Somehow it reveals itself. Then you realize it's not within. It's not confined. How can it be confined to the body? How can we? It is the body and everything else that is within it. Right? In fact, all is it. Right? It is all, and all is that. Right? And then the idea of all also disappears, right? That alone is, there is nothing else but that. Whatever it is that. And you can finally rest in peace.
Thanks.
What Ramana said, the state of realization is when you don't, is the state when you don't exist. Not even as that. That alone is. So there's certain degrees of understanding. Everything that is spoken is according to the degree of understanding. It's spoken that you have to, the sage reunite itself is in communion and realizes identity. One that realizes identity with the other. One that is a knower of Brahman. If Brahman is the absolute, how can be known? See, all that is, this is why this is such a funny job. I was talking to
funny.
to Carl Renz at the end of the talk. Say, oh Jesus, what a job we have. How you explain this?
Yeah.
Because all these divisions doesn't exist, right? All these bodies, right? And we are being minimalistic, right? Gross, subtle, causal, and super causal. If you read the books, then all the subdivisions are subdivided into subdivision, and the subdivision subdividing, and right here everybody gets lost. And then these V3s and this modification of so in reality, there is only one concept. And it is a concept for the listener. Right? For the sage, it's a fact. It's not a concept, it's a fact. The self alone is. Okay. How do I know that? There's no how. Just keep quiet. It's interesting, right? If you really we don't pay attention to the concept. We don't see that how well structured they are. So it's supposed to, guide you. The self alone is. And the way to realize it is keep quiet. It's not even keep quiet and know that you are that. There's no you. The I that says is that disappears in that. And that's the meaning of merges, right? If it merges, it's not even there anymore, right? It's like the golden ring. If the golden ring melts away, right? Where is the ring? It's no longer there, right? It's just gold. You melt, it's just a ball of, it's a stone, it's a mass of gold, it's a mass of absolute existence. That's what it is. This is why the sages just want to be alone and quiet. Oh God. So you see that all the questions that people has is according to the preconceived idea, the knowledge that already has. So they ask questions about something that already know, right? Otherwise, you will never ask questions. Oh, it is said that this, it is said that that. It's funny because the sages create this tremendous amount of knowledge, and then they also tell you, now begin to forget all that. If you don't understand this simple truth, then they say, yes, go on with your practice. Whatever suits you, right? Whatever suits you. When you feel that you are already, you will feel that you are stuck, and then you will go to, okay, I'm stuck here. Okay, come. The only thing that the sage needs is just patience. That's all. And a comfortable cushion so the bum doesn't get sore. All these names and forms of God. See, all this is man-made, created, right?
Right.
So you will never accept that there is a nameless, formless reality there. It has a form, see, like you, right? And it has a name, so worshiping, right? And it says that you have to be good. So there's some value system established, right? Which is to reinforce the pure mind, right? So the selfishness and the dullness can just somehow chill out, right? Because only the mind that is pure, right? So as pure mind leads to what is beyond mind, right?
Really, a pure mind is a mind that doesn't move. Is that right?
Yeah. This mind is happy, this mind is in harmony with everybody, doesn't want anything, doesn't expect anything, it's just. This is why they say, what are the requirements? Well, selflessness, contempt, how you call it? Contempt them.
Contentment.
Contentment, yeah. Right? Equanimity, all of this mind that is whatever. Is that the mind that is required to look for the source of the mind? So, what else?
Thanks, Cesar.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego. Entonces nos vemos mañana.